So, Oscars, sadly, the only thing most people are talking about from the Oscars, 2022 Oscars, despite the fact that there were several historic moments, is the fact that Will Smith slapped Chris Rock on live television. And then in countries that were not America, dropped the F-bomb twice on live television.
I mean, he did it in America too. It's just it was censored.
That's what I'm saying. Therefore, he did not do it on live television in America.
I mean, everybody knew what he was saying.
Yeah. Okay. The premise of what happened is Chris Rock was telling jokes, doing a little bit before presenting the award for like documentary, best documentary, making jokes, making the rounds. In the 2017 Oscars, he had made a Jada and Will joke because Jada was boycotting the Oscars on Will Smith's behalf. I don't know the background of that. It wasn't his first Jada joke, but they were here this year. He said, Jada, I love you. Can't wait to say G.I. Jane 2, which she was in a movie called G.I. Jane, where basically she's a female Marine and all the prejudice and trials that happen in Marine boot camp. It's an army movie, but with a female main character.
She wasn't the main character in G.I. Jane.
I don't think I watched G.I. Jane, so I have no idea what you're talking about.
You sure?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. It was this joke on an old movie saying she being in G.I. Jane too. I don't think she's the main.
You're right. I am sorry. You're right. She was not in G.I. Jane. It's been so long since I've seen it that when the joke was told, my mind just made it true. She was not in a movie called G.I. Jane. G.I. Jane is a movie about this female military woman going through basic training and everything. Her hair is shaved, completely bald, and that's like a big thing for a woman to shave all her hair. From the lens of the movie, from what I remember. Recently, within the past couple of years, if not 2 years, Jada Smith has developed alopecia, and that has been a personal struggle for her, something that she struggled coming to terms with. So she was wearing wigs for a long time, and finally, recently, she kind of came to terms with that and stopped wearing wigs and just trying to accept it more. And so that joke that he made about her being bald, saying can't wait for G.I. Jane 2, is being taken in a very bad light, as in he made a joke about her medical condition. Everyone was laughing. Camera cuts to Will Smith. He's chuckling. Jada not laughing, like rolled her eyes in disgust. Camera cut away. Next thing we know, Will Smith is sauntering on upstage. Chris Rock doesn't know what's going on. He's like, hey, buddy, what? And just straight up slaps him and walks off stage. Everyone thought this was staged until Will Smith said, keep my wife's name out of your effing mouth twice. Like he's shouting it at him. And then Chris Rock's reaction of just absolute flabbergasted. Like he was shocked that it just happened. So not a bit. And then he apologized very next day on like Instagram, said, I apologize for my behavior. That was not right. I should not have done that. He had a kind of apology when he later won the award for best supporting actor. No, for best actor, not supporting actor, for best actor for his role in King Richard. He had a half apology where he was kind of like justifying his actions of protecting his family and everything.
Zach, the Hollywood apology.
Yeah, I mean,
I heard he cried. Was that crying during the day before or the night of?
No. So his apology on Instagram wasn't a video. It was the caption, I believe, or like notes. I didn't see the post. I just heard about it. I don't.
Both of them were like,
okay.
From what I remember seeing, both of them were like the verbatim cookie cutter thing of like Hollywood's. Like, oh, I'm so sorry for doing this and this offending this many people, or how my stuff offended your actions or whatever.
Okay.
My actions might have offended you or meant to hurt anybody.
No, he had a genuine apology. It was like a text, like screenshot of his notes. He genuinely just straight up said, "I am sorry. I should not have done that. I apologize to you, Chris. My emotions got the better of me, and I should not have done that. That was wrong. I am sorry." So yeah, it's not the fact that it happened that I am going wild over. It is society's reaction. There are so many sides to look at this from. The main one that I like is this does not matter. It is one millionaire slapping another millionaire. Like, it does not impact me whatsoever. It doesn't bother my day to day. Why do I care? Why does everyone care? Especially when there's the war in Ukraine going on and the socioeconomic stuff that's going on in America with like the gas and our own political climate. Like, why is the fact that Will Smith hit Chris Rock so focused on? It's ridiculous.
Because it's Will Smith and Chris Rock.
Yes. It's sad because it's overshadowing the fact that we had the first ever deaf actor winning an Oscar, the first ever queer woman winning an Oscar. I feel like there was other firsts that I can't remember. So yeah, we had some very other big moments. The way they presented the animated film was awful. They made a mockery of animated films. I believe what they said when they presented it was that like cartoons are for kids to enjoy and adults to tolerate, or to something like that, or to like bear through. When one of the animated films was a documentary about like an actual documentary about like a serious adult issue. It ended up being Encanto, I believe, that won that one. I believe. I
still want to see Encanto.
It's good. I would have voted for Luca because I thought it was a better movie overall, but Encanto's more popular because it's also a musical. They're both very good though. So like other thing, I believe Jason Derulo took a tumble that night, unless that one TikTok I saw was taking a screenshot from an Oscar of years past. It was a good Oscar. Academy Awards, but the fact that we're talking about Will Smith smacking Chris Rock out of the blue is overshadowing some other big events. Now, to talk about the actual event, a lot of people are saying Chris Rock is in the wrong. They're on Will Smith's side. Chris Rock is in the wrong. You should never make a joke about people's medical conditions. The rebuttal to that, and half of my opinion, is that everything can be comedy. You can make a joke about everything. Nothing is off territory, like off the table. That's what comedians are. They make jokes about everything. That's why there's different kinds of comedians. Nothing is off the table. As a joke, people cope through trauma with humor. Nothing is off the table. However, there's also a time and place for everything. If he knew that it was about her medical condition, should not have said it at the Oscars, taking a jab at someone's medical condition. Not smart.
Yeah, and that's one thing with Chris Rock. I'm pretty sure he's not the type of person to do something about medical condition, or just do a joke like that about someone's health in general.
Yes.
So I think it was just a like wrong time, wrong place type of joke where it didn't mean to be interpreted like this, but it was anyways.
The thing is, it wasn't even like a bad joke. Like, it wasn't a harsh joke. There is a clip from over a decade ago of Will Smith on a talk show making a joke at someone who has alopecia. That is much harsher than the one Chris Rock did. Where it was more clearly an alopecia joke instead of a bald joke. This one was just kind of a bald joke. There's clips of Jada Smith saying, like, I have accepted my baldness. I love my baldness.
Which she didn't seem to accept at that moment. So, I mean, that was...
Yes, but she has publicly said in interviews, like, I am happy with how
I know. So it's like, it should be fair game.
Yes, exactly. And so I personally think that the joke that was told was fine. It was not, I don't think it was an attack on someone's personal health. I think it was just a joke being made. haha funny man. He is a comedian. And it wasn't even like a harsh joke. The fact that she took it so hard as a celebrity is a little, you need to have a little thicker skin as a celebrity. The fact that Will Smith jumped up to attack a man, which I'm using as very like exaggerated words because people are saying that doesn't give Will Smith the excuse to assault someone on live TV. Like he didn't, like, sure, legal definition assault, but like he slapped him. I mean, this is elementary school level crap. You made a joke about my girlfriend, I'm gonna slap you. Like he didn't shoot him, he didn't stab him, he didn't try to kill him.
He didn't even deck him. It was just a backhand slap. That's all it was.
It was a sissy slap. Like it wasn't even that hard. It was not enough for like Chris Rock to even like fall over or anything. He like stood in place. Like this is elementary school level drama with what happened. The people saying, taking Will's side, like, yeah, defend your family. I mean, I kind of get that. Like, yeah, you need to stand up for your wife in certain situations. I don't think this was the one, especially not on a very prestigious award ceremony. I think both parties were in the wrong, as my own personal opinion. Actually, no, I think Will Smith was in the wrong. Chris Rock didn't do anything wrong. He told a joke that was not offensive, and they took offense to a joke that was not meant to be offensive, and then reacted completely the wrong way. I understand where Will's coming from. Still think he's in the wrong. I also think slapping someone is not a big deal. And I think the exaggerated sides people are taking is crazy. And then this leads into my point on the social implications this issue has for our current society, at least in America, because it's only on American Twitter and American TikTok. I almost guarantee you that this is not as big a deal in Europe or Asia or Australia.
Probably not.
Probably not. The fact that people are getting so defensive and so sensitive over the fact that it was a bald joke about someone with alopecia. It wasn't an alopecia joke. It was a bald joke, and a soft bald joke. Like just getting up in arms of you should never joke about someone's like that's very soft. It also is the soft on he assaulted a man. Like he slapped him. He's not even coming away with the bruise from that. Like I would not categorize that as assault. People are also going after Will and Jada's marriage, which the background that they have on their marriage, it's fair game. Do you guys know about that?
Yeah.
Yes.
They have a quote unquote open marriage. But my perception of it is that it's majority on Jada's side, and Will is more just like he loves her too much to do anything about it or to do much about it. And recently, within the past couple of years, they've strengthened their marriage and they're much more like together now. But everything that's happened in the past and the trying to be as progressive and forward as possible and not like looking back, they say they have an open marriage. So a lot of jokes have been made about that, which are absolutely hilarious.
I think my favorite is the one, where it was like 2 weeks before he found out, and he's like, marriage is precious, blah, blah, blah. Anyone who cheats on on their significant other is just disgusting garbage. And then, you got 2 weeks later.
Yeah, I mean, it was the
I feel bad for him 100%.
It was the Ross and Rachel thing that happened where they were on a break. They weren't in their eyes together, but in his mind, they were still exclusive. Like I understand it's like the big giant story arc that happened on Friends, the show that was massive, where it was we were on a break. The social implications of everyone's blowing up about this and making it a very serious issue. I recently heard something that suffering is all relative. Our generation, our parents' generation, has not gone through a lot of tough shit. Our grandparents' generation went through the Vietnam War and the World War, where people were getting shipped off, and it was a very good chance that anybody you ask knew personally someone who had died or could die in the war. That was just a different time, and people were going through different stuff. I guarantee you people in Poland and Russia and Ukraine are, I'm not going to say much happier. The smaller things do not get them down as much because they have bigger things to deal with.
Yeah, I understand. I know what you mean.
Have not had bigger things to deal with. We've had a pandemic. We have had social and racial and identity crises and revolutions, but those aren't world wars where mass genocides are occurring on a daily basis. So smaller things feel bigger. And I thought that was very telling of the way our generations deal with things and are impacted by things. So I can understand why this is a big deal. I think it's just super interesting what this implies of how society acts right, how society works right now. The fact that a large number of people think that there are boundaries to jokes and that physical violence is absolutely never, under any circumstances, the answer. But
I will be honest, most of the time it is not the answer. But there are those a few times.
These are the same people that love to watch football and boxing and hockey and UFC being a multi-million-dollar company and wrestling being a popular high school sport. These are all violent sports.
With wrestling,
I
suppose you can categorize that as violent, but...
And I'm not saying, excusing stabbing and shooting and life-threatening violence, but I don't think there is anything wrong with settling your disagreements with a guarded brawl. Is a weird way to put that. Like back in the good old days, like the 60s, the 80s, they just go out the back of the schoolyard after school, go to someone's backyard, and they'd fight. And they'd come out with a black eye or a broken lip. And
I'm going to be honest. That's like any time up until like the 2000s.
Yeah, it wasn't.
Let's be honest. It was really around the 2000s that it became not the ideal, I suppose.
Minor altercations were not a big deal because that was how people grew. And I still think it is how character can be built and how people can grow. That goes along the lines of the topic of bullying is a necessary evil. And I'm not saying brutalizing and assaulting and gang beating or driving someone to the point of suicide, that's beyond bullying. I'm talking about teasing, schoolyard teasing as a way of social growth. And this is a social theory and not a general guideline, because it is not fun to be bullied. And it is not fun to be in a situation where you feel like people don't like you and that something's wrong with you. But if you're the kid that picks his nose all day in class and no one says anything and no one teases you for it because it's just no one is allowed to, then that kid's going to grow up and just not think there's anything wrong with it. And he'll be sitting in the office when he's 30, digging up there. As a very surface level example. I think it weeds out the bad habits, but teasing constructive teasing is different than hardcore bullying, and that is not okay. But that is a social theory.
Yeah, no, I do agree on the bullying aspect. I do think it's one of those necessary evils, I suppose you could say, because it does help with a lot of personal growth, gives you a tougher skin later on in life as well.
Yeah.
So yeah, I see it as one of those necessary evils.
Like, yeah, it's social theory is super interesting. It is not something I am anywhere near like smart or an expert at, or even like well knowledged in. I just think it's interesting, and I think the reactions people are having to this event is just a very good indicator of those social constructs and theories. But I don't have much else to say about it. I did not word a lot of that very smoothly.
Yeah. What I gotta say about at least with as far as Will Smith and what's it called? What's her face? G.I. Jane.
Jada.
I think the only reason why I've seen people bring up their marriage is that it seems to have people think it's speculated that it's messed up with Will Smith's psyche,
I would completely understand if it has.
and that be the reason why he snapped the way he did instead of just trying to get him to tell him to stop instead of going up there slapping him in front of I don't know how many the thousands of people were watching, depending on where you go, but possibly millions.
Exactly. Yeah.
So I mean, it's gotten to the point now where people have started to negate principles that used to be accepted as a whole by most Americans, and one of them now has become marriage, especially with them being open, especially with their open marriage, where basically they're married only on paper, and they're sleeping with everybody they want. Well, at least Jada Smith seems to be. I don't know about Will or Mr. Smith. I don't know what I can call him, but
people have speculated that he also is part of it, but I think that's just something to make it look less villainized. Like it's a mutual agreement. I don't personally agree with the concept of an open marriage.
I don't think anybody here does, but
well, I feel like it just destroys the purpose of the concept of marriage.
That's not marriage. An open marriage is...
No, it's not. It's not one.
It's just you're dating someone else.
Yeah, that's literally just dating. I agree with dating more than one person and not in having multiple boyfriends or girlfriends, but not being committed to one person. I understand that concept. That's fine, which is more like playing field, or just like, playing the field. You're looking for the right partner. You go on dates. You go on dates with multiple people. Like Monday, I'll have breakfast with this person, and Wednesday I'll have lunch with another person. But once you're committed to another person, that's a commitment. And marriage is the ultimate commitment. Do you guys want to talk about the Oscars? Because that's something I've been looking forward to. Did you guys hear about much of it?
No. The only thing I really cared about was Will Smith and Chris Rock, because that's the only thing I was... Well, that and the Oscars has been... Basically anything from Hollywood, especially award shows, has been getting more and more political. So just been staying away from it.
I didn't watch it because I didn't have a way to. I'm more just curious about like which movies won. The Coda won the Best Picture. Coda stands for Child of Deaf Adult. And apparently it was really good. It's an Apple Plus movie. I want to watch it. It's the only movie. It was the only movie that was in the nominations that was under 2 hours. I started watching Licorice Pizza today. I'm about halfway through that one. That it's good so far. It's nothing. It's a very well directed, well acted piece. I can understand why I would get the nomination. Belfast won best screenplay, I believe, like best direct. It won something. I think it was like best directing. Dune won like best sound and best visual effects. I think Will Smith won best leading actor for King Richard, which is the movie about the upbringing of the Williams sisters, Venus and Serena, the tennis superstars. Best supporting actor was the guy who was the deaf actor who played in Coda. And that is the first time any deaf actor has ever won an Oscar. And it was really cool because after they announced it, everyone was applauding because this is applause in sign language. So I thought that was cool. Jessica Chastain won. Go ahead.
We still don't know how we heard about it though.
Yeah. There's an interpreter.
But he couldn't hear about it.
Ha ha ha.
I broke him. I done my job. Good night, everybody.
Jessica Chastain won best actress for playing, I think it was Tina Fey. And I forget the name of the movie, but it's a movie where she starred alongside Andrew Garfield. And she played the wife of a pastor of a mega church. One of the actresses in West Side Story won best supporting actress. Yeah. And I think Encanto won animation, and Billie Eilish won, and Phineas, her brother, won best song for the No Time to Die. Those are all the ones I can remember. Oh, and Drive My Car, which was the Japanese film that was nominated for best picture, won best international film. That one is also 3 hours. I think it was a decently good Oscar. I don't think the awards themselves got very political.
It's usually their speeches and what they do.
Yeah, I don't care about that. I'm trying to watch all the nominations though, because I didn't get to before.
Zach, you got anything?
Not really. I've never been a big fan of just watching the Oscars. So
I like finding out who won after, especially if I've seen all the movies.
Fair enough. No, I will agree with that. Like if I've seen a movie and I'm like, oh, that's a really good movie, I think it should win, or the actor should get like an Oscar for that. Then yes, I'll look into like, hey, did they win this year? Like who won this for this year? I'll look at that. But
Yeah.
I haven't been looking at it really for the past few years, mostly because there hasn't really been much of anything. Especially since COVID came out.
Mm-hmm.
There hasn't been much of anything that's just caught my eye with movies and stuff.